Hey everybody, quick setup for today's session. Today is going to be center abdominal and upper body focus. So arms, shoulders, biceps, triceps, back muscles along with center abdominals. About 30-32 minutes of movement. We will have a couple exercises where you'll be moving the legs as well, but you'll notice when we get there, it's kind of going to be full body, using the core to stabilize and balance, as well as having the arms moving as well. So it's going to be less of a glute hamstring focus and more the intention of getting the heart rate up. First things first, let's set up our machine. I'm going to go ahead and pull my black cables off of the back handlebars. If you have them hung up, make sure when you put them down inside the well, they're not wrapped around the back handlebars so that you can easily use them. Other thing you want to make sure is that your red cables are nice and handy here off the back so that you can quickly grab them. We're going to be starting laying down with our black cables in our hands for the crunch with rope series. We'll be laying on the back. As far as the spring load goes, if you have anything going on with your neck, shoulders, or your lower back, definitely err on the side of lighter. I would say I'll be cueing 1 red and 2 yellows, but you can go as light as 1 red. You might even go as light as 4 yellows if your lower back is bugging at all. A little glimpse into the future, I do want you to know that we will be coming from a lying down position with coming from, crunch with ropes and leg lifts, and from here with the black cables in your hands. I don't have mine in my hands, but you're going to transition to a seated position. And this is where things get tricky. You're going to have your toes under the strap, and with the same spring load you had for the lying down series, you're going to be taking mega crunch with chest fly. So again, anything going on in the lower back, anything bugging with the shoulders, err on the side of the lighter spring load. As light as 4 yellows is cool. A little bit further along in class, we'll be coming out of our heart rate spike, out of super lunge, and we'll be moving to the back of the machine for some more intense abdominals. We call it giant reverse when we're at the back facing the back. So we're going to be in that reverse catfish, kneeling crunch. Those things could certainly be done at the front if you needed them to be, as always. What I wanted to point out is when we get out of that last abdominal exercise, we're going to be stepping over the back into another block of arms. At that point, most of us are going to come up to 2 yellows. Again, neck, shoulders bugging today. You might stay down on 1 yellow for the arms here at the back with the red cables. From there, we're going to be going back into another leg exercise. Most likely, if you're on 2, you'll want to head back down to 1 yellow. But on the flip side of that, if you wanted a challenge, you can stay up on the 2 yellows for a variation of 5th lunge. As always, knees down to modify, and smaller range of motion, especially in the core, is going to make it easier. So again, center ab, upper body focus. Let's burn them out. Let's do this. All right, everybody, we got a little fun one for you today. Abs, so center abs and upper body, arms and abs. About 30 minutes or so, a little supplement if you are low on time or you feel like you need a little bit more. We're going to start laying on our back today with the black cables for our crunch with ropes series. So 1 red up to 1 red and 2 yellows, and you can pick any place in between. Jess is going to grab her black cables and then carefully lay down onto her back. Hands are going to be holding onto the short handles. One thing I like to point out here is remember that the further forward you scoot on your carriage, the closer your butt is to the front edge, the heavier these cables, these springs are going to feel. We're going to start with crunch with ropes. So you're going to start with straight arms, hands extended right above your shoulders. I like my hands a little bit more forward so you can feel the shoulders move away from the ears, lats are engaged. Knees are going to be right over the hips, toes pointed. I always want your feet higher than your knees. You never want your feet sinking towards your butt. Squeeze your knees together. Let that be part of your focus. I want your knees literally touching the whole entire time. We're going to take a big inhale breath. We're going to start with the spine and the arms first. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, begin to press your arms forward and begin to lift your chest up. Awesome. Lift the chin just a little bit. Kind of gaze over the knees. Beautiful. And then inhale, resist that as you come back down. Your head will come all the way down at the same time that your hands touch right over the shoulders. And then let's do that 2 more times. Exhale, press with the arms, lift with the chest. Try to come all the way up off your shoulder blades. That's important. And then again, there's a stop at the top. Resist on the way back down. Starting to fire up those center abs, your lats, your shoulders as well, your inner thighs definitely, probably your booty too. Exhale, press all the way forward, slide the knees just a little bit. Perfect. Come up a little higher off those blades, and then real slow, start to bring it back down. We're gonna add in the legs now, and you could leave them out if you needed to. You can even set your feet down if there was pressure in your lower back. So now as she presses with the arms, lifts with the chest, she's extending with her legs. If this put pressure in your back, aim a little higher. See her nice, beautiful pause here at the top, and then she's gonna reverse it on the way back down. Knees are bending, head is coming down, arms are coming up. She could rest here a second or two if she needed to. Exhale, press and lift. Beautiful, all the way up off those blades, and then slowly bringing it back down. One more like that. This next one, we're gonna hold it up at the top. So exhale, press with the arms, extend with the legs, beautiful. Now holding here, inhale, breath. Exhale, she's gonna bend her knees back to tabletop. That's it, chest stays lifted. Inhale, extend those legs, woo! Exhale, bend those knees, yes. One more time, just like that. Inhale, extend, awesome. Exhale, bend, now hold it. Take another big inhale. Exhale, reach with your fingers, lift. Keep those knees bent. Inhale, exhale, reach. Inhale, exhale, reach. Just 5. 4, we're gonna switch it up. In 3 is her head comes down, her legs extend out or up. In 2, and 1, head comes down, arms go up, legs extend out. Beautiful, good. Now as she presses with her arms, as she lifts with her chest, her knees will bend at the same time. So we essentially just switched directions, doing the opposite. Good, now head comes down, arms go up, legs extend out. Remember, if there's pressure in your back, either keep the knees bent or lift the legs straight up. I'm gonna have her keep moving like this about 15 more seconds. The slower you go, the stronger it is. One more challenge. We're gonna keep the neck relaxing on this next one. Good. So on her next one, her hands will come to the sky, her head will rest down, her legs begin to extend out. We hold it here. Make sure the shoulders are depressed, so keep the hands right over the shoulders, exactly. Maybe she lowers her legs just a little bit. 4, without moving her arms or her torso, just the legs. In 3, 2, she's gonna start by moving up first, yeah. And then really slow, she's gonna start to lower down. She's squeezing her legs together. I don't care how low she goes. What I'm looking for is this beautiful control. Does not matter how low she goes. Think about a couple things, you guys. Hug those front ribs down, yeah. Breathe deep into that core, so strong, Jessica. We only have about 10 more seconds here, and then we are gonna challenge it. Next exercise, we'll be changing positions. You're still gonna need those cables. 5 seconds, she's gonna lower her legs as much as she can. 3, 2, hold it, squeeze it, tighten up that core, depress those shoulders, breathe into it, and then little lifts, tiny little lifts. 8, 7, 6, mega crunch chest fly. Careful as you sit up, keep those cables. You can take the longer straps if it feels heavy. 3, 2, and 1. So she's gonna keep her cable. She's gonna scoot her butt back just a little bit, toes under the straps. And then she might adjust her hips, walk your tailbone forward a little bit. She's gonna start by kind of sitting up on top of her hips, arms forward, straighten out through the elbows a little bit. Now, as you lean back here, you're not gonna lean back very far, but your arms are gonna move pretty big. There's gonna be about 2 inches of movement in her spine, and then chest is squeezing. She's gonna stop right about there. And then again, as she leans back, the arms open out, elbows stay in front of the shoulders, and then exhale, squeezing in. Beautiful, Jess. Nice and slow. We'll only be here about 60 seconds. This one's pretty big. Awesome, squeezing glutes, squeezing inner thighs. About 10 seconds, we hit our challenge. 8. So next one, I want you to start to lean back as far as you can hold. Pause there, hold it, squeeze through your chest. Now we're going arms only. You're leaning back as far as you can. Remember, if it was ever too heavy, you could take those longer straps, bring the back of the head back just a little bit. Good, last 10. Awesome breath, Jess. 7 seconds, we're gonna ditch the cables. Toes will be in the eyelets, hands on these curvy bars for the chest press. In 3, 2, and 1. So good. So hands on the curvy bars, toes drop back to your little eyelets, and then she's gonna start by pushing back, dropping her hips down into this modified plank shape. She's gonna start to bend her elbows back and out about 45 degrees, working into that chest again. You'll feel a little bit of shoulders and biceps as well. A lot of legs here and a lot of core. Keep the back of the head lifted just a sliver. Bring the back of your head back. Perfect, just like that. Slow resist on the way forward and a big press on the way out. She's only got about 20 more seconds here, and we're not gonna hit the challenge today. We're just gonna stay right in that big full range of motion. Keep your eye on the prize. Here is your one and only challenge. Try to cut your tempo in half. Go way slower. See if you can feel that connection through the core a little bit more when you do go slower. See if you can bring some softness to your jaw and your neck when you go a little bit slower. Just 15, or just 10 rather. We're gonna be turning around, grabbing our black cables once again. Your left foot forward, about 2 red springs for the super lunge. 3, 2, 1, great job. So turning it around, about 2 red springs. You can go as heavy as 2 reds and 2 yellows. Her left foot is forward. She's starting with her right knee down. Her right toes are tucked back there. We're gonna be rowing on the way up today. You can certainly hit a couple rows down on your knees before you start to rise. And you guys know if you needed to stay down on your knees the whole time, that's definitely gonna be a left leg exercise. A whole lot of abdominals in this split lunge position. Keep the pubic bone curling forward, awesome. Squeeze both of your buns a lot, and your primary push is down into your left heel. Coming down as low as you can each and every time. She's got about 15 seconds of movement, and then we're gonna challenge these arms at the same time that we challenge these legs. 10 more seconds. I'm gonna say lean a little bit forward, exactly. Shoulders slightly in front of the hips. If you can keep your shoulders right over your hips, great, but you never wanna be leaning back in this one. Next one, start to make your way down to your lowest spot, maybe 80, 90%. You wanna feel your maximum burn in your legs right now. Set those inner thighs, set the push into your left heel, and then as slowly as you can, let's pull in for our row. I want your thumbs towards your hips. Now here's the hard part. As you go forward, I only want your elbows to come in line with your ribs. So it's more of a big pull back in that heavy range. Keep those front ribs knitting closed. If you can get a little bit lower, go ahead and try. Just 10 more seconds here. This is big. You gotta breathe real deep, you guys. Heart rate is rising, pushing into your left heel, squeezing your buns. 4 more seconds. So strong, Jessica. 3, let's pull those arms back tight. Pull them back tight. And 2, hold it, hold it. Now a little bit more grit. It's gonna get spicy. Awesome, she just dropped right into it. Little squeezers down, sit, hold it, yeah. Little squeeze down. She's tapping that right knee, and I like it. She has 5. 4, we go honestly back to full range. In 3, sink down first, 2, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then slowly we rise up. Yes, 15 seconds, that's it. She's gonna be coming down onto her knees and sitting onto her heels with her toes untucked into an up row. We gotta cross the cables. 3, 2, 1, good job. So she's down on her knees. The further she scoots forward, the lighter it's gonna be. Toes untucked, and then set back towards your heels. Now the hardest, I would scoot way more forward. And then make sure you don't lean forward, so bring the shoulders back, bring the ribs in, exactly. She's got her cables crossed, and then she's pulling up. You're not gonna go all the way forward because you wanna keep you wanna keep your blades working, exactly. So maybe all the way back as tight as you can pull those elbows, feel the work in the back of the shoulders, the rear delts, the traps, the rhomboids, and then you're resisting it on the way forward. Big old core effort here. Ribs are pulling in. I'm gonna say lean just a ½ inch forward, beautiful. Super slow, super strong. We're gonna pull in for a little challenge here. Your butt is squeezing. If you want a bit more challenging, hover your buns like a ½ inch off your heels and fire those quads without leaning forward though. That's the hard part. Good, next one, pull all the way in, hold it nice and tight. Feel those blades, feel those ribs working in. Yes, Jessica, hold it here. And then just give me little squeezes back. Little squeezes back. Tiny little squeezes back. Just 6, we go back to full range. 3, 2, back to full range. You've only got 10 more seconds. Our right foot steps out, left toe step back, keep those cables, super lunge. 4, 3, 2, and 1, good job. So right foot is forward, left toes tuck back. Set those hips, squeeze your inner thighs. You might burn a couple rows down here at the bottom, or when you're ready to rise, begin to row back and stand up. Feel the difference in one leg from the other, right? Not a lot of legs today. We're just using the super lunge, to get the heart rate up a little higher, and to compound the movement. You're still working your arms, your back muscles. You're definitely working your core as you balance here on this moving thing. And yeah, the legs are always gonna raise the heart rate. They're just our bigger muscles. Spine looks perfect, Jessica. Only got about 15 more seconds, and then we're gonna hit that challenge for the upper body. Remember, arms are starting to get tired, especially these pull muscles. So the movement is gonna be all the way back, thumbs to hips, and then only elbows to hips. So it's way back. Start to sink down, maybe 80, 90%. Awesome, nice head start, Jess. And then row your arms all the way back. Feel it, pull those ribs in, yes. And then only so far forward that your elbows come in line with your ribs. So it's a small, heavy range of motion. Keep pulling those shoulders away from the ears, so strong. 15 seconds like this. Drill that right heel down. Set those inner thighs. Yes, curl in with the pubic bone, right? Pubic bone is reaching forward towards the wall in front of you. 6 more seconds. Dig, 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 dig. So strong. Now, pull your arms all the way back. Feel the squeeze. Click your core close. Feel it. And then little squeeze down. If you can sink and tap that left knee and keep control, try it out. 10. I know. 8, squeeze it, you gotta breathe. Open up that breath right now, fight for it a little bit. Let it shake if it's going to. 5, 4, we sink low first, so strong, Jessica. 3, all the way down. 2, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and then slowly rise back up. Last 15 seconds here. Digging in and digging through. Now we're really gonna challenge these back muscles one more time. We're gonna come to the back for a lat pull, facing the same direction. So you're gonna ditch your cables, ditch those red springs for sure. Probably 3 yellows, 4 will be pretty heavy. 2 is kind of gonna be a little lighter, a little bit of a modification. In 3, 2, and 1. Great job. So anywhere from 2 to 4 yellows. Hands are gonna be on your vertical bars. Knees up against the strap, or the further back they are, the harder it will be. Booty is gonna be squeezing. This is difficult for the legs. You gotta fire up the legs. You gotta fire up the core to support the spine. And those things are just bonus. The big pull is coming from the back muscles. Elbows aiming slightly down will be more successful for most of us. Like when I'm pulling in, my elbows, if you see, are pulling down about 45. If you have good shoulders and you wanna challenge it a little bit, try lifting your elbows up a little bit higher. You just have to make sure the front shoulder heads don't roll forward when you do that. I'm gonna keep her in full range of motion here, no challenge, but I will say, I don't want her arms going anywhere near straight. So keeping it pretty tightly pulled to the back all the way through the movement, keeping that maximum effort, maximum tension on the muscles, solid, Jessica. She's got 20 more seconds here, and then we're gonna transition back into the core a little bit now that we've got these back muscles fired up so that we can support the upper body work that is required in this next core block. We're gonna be moving into reverse catfish at the back, 1 yellow spring. If you needed to modify, you could take it up to the front, no doubt. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. So take a little ride to the front and then change down to 1 yellow. And hands are gonna be up on your high bars. Toes will push up against the strap. Now, if you wanted it to be a little heavier, a little more challenging, you could step your toes back a little bit. First thing, you wanna lean your body weight forward into your arms. You'll see she's got this perfect tabletop in her back. Her legs are gonna start to extend back, doesn't matter how far, perfect. And then she's gonna bend her knees in just a little bit. Perfect range of motion, Jessica. Now, this is a great place. I'm not gonna call out push-ups today, but you can certainly add push-ups in. See if you can go even slower. And how I am able to go slower in this one is by keeping that range of motion smaller. She's got 6 more seconds. We will hit a little challenge here in 4. Start to slide the legs back as far as you can without the hips dropping. Perfect. And then in your mind's eye, only about a 1/2 inch of movement. So take it back as far as you can hold it. Legs slide back, good. And then a little squeeze in. Yep, and a little resist out. So good. 4, 3, we go back to the bigger motion. In 2, start to slide it out, slide it out, slide it out. And then slowly slowly squeeze it right back in. We've got 15 here, 15 honest seconds. Triceps are wrapping back. There's a softness in the elbows. Lengthen out the neck as much as you can. 10 seconds. Active rest coming on our elbows and knees for that spinal flexion. Kneeling crunch. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Elbows down, knees down. She'll start by sliding her knees back to that modified plank shape where you're in a straight line, shoulders, hips to knees. Pull up through the core, round through your spine. I want a pretty big movement today. Most of the time in this exercise, I say less is more. Keep the range of motion tight to keep it slow, like 2 to 3 inches of movement. I want her to feel that challenge. I want her to feel how difficult it is to keep the core honest as your knees slide back. And I want her to feel that hold there before she rounds up and in, stopping the knees slightly behind the hips. Beautiful control, Jessica. Resisting it on the way out. I'm gonna give her 20 more seconds here in this full range of motion. And then we're gonna hit a little back-to-back challenge. 15 seconds now. Squeeze your glutes. Pack up through your lats, right? We fired up those back muscles. You need them now. Keep the shoulders happy, away from the ears so your neck is more extended. 5 seconds. She's gonna slide her knees all the way out. In 3, 2, knees slide all the way back. Elbows are still down. We hold that modified plank shape. She's pushing into the tops of her feet, into her shins. 8 seconds only. Let's saw our shoulders back. Maybe you only get 1 to 2 in there. Just 5, you can keep it real small. Nice control, Jessica. 3, we go halfway in with the spine. So pull the shoulders forward over the elbows, round the spine halfway up, and then go straight into that pulse. Little squeeze up, yes, little squeeze up. We have 10 seconds. We're gonna come up to our hands. Knees will stay down. It's a big one. Giant reverse wheelbarrow. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last little core fire here before we get back to those arms. Hands are up, hips are forward. Now this is full body. She needs her legs active, her booty is squeezing. She's gonna slide backwards from her shoulders. So yeah, shoulders, triceps, big lat pull muscles. Again, the abdominals are the focus. How could you make this easier? Make the movement smaller, for sure. You could certainly come down to your elbows to lower your center of gravity. As always, you could go to the front if you're just not feeling this one today. We're halfway through already. The challenge comes at the end, and then we're going to be moving back into those arms. So knowing that you've got 20 seconds of movement, push it a little bit. You don't need to save your core right now. I'm gonna save you from it right after this one. 10 more seconds, and then we're gonna hit a hold. All I'm gonna say is slide back as far as you can maintain that neutral shape in your spine in 4. Slide it out, 3, slide it out, 2, hold it up there, lift the back of the head. 8 seconds, slide it out a little bit further if you've got it. Last 5, 1 to 2 yellows for a shoulder press with the red cables off the back. 3, 2, 1. Woo! 1 to 2 yellows. I like to err on the side of lighter, but you can start and always change it up if you need. First of all, I'm gonna have her scooter buns all the way forward to the front edge. That way these bars aren't in her way. Let's start with your feet flat on the floor, feet side by side together, heels and toes are touching, arms starting goalpost, and then as slowly as we can, we're gonna press up. Now you don't want your hands to touch above your head. The closest your hands will come is being straight over your shoulders. And then you're resisting on the way down. Perfect in the spine. So you can see Jess here, front ribs are hugging in, low back looks nice and neutral. Her feet are energetically pushing into the floor. On the next one, bring it about halfway down or halfway up, wherever you are, and just hold there, right in the fire. No pulses, no smaller movements. Feel your core working, feel your legs working. I want you radiating through the floor. Push down, and then lift up through your crown. Feel the solidness of your spine. You have 5. In 4 seconds, we're gonna see if we can lift up. Pull that core in real tight. Yes, 3, 2, lift all the way up, yes, and then bring it right back down. We've got 15 seconds. I know, this is a big one, at least for me. Big for the core, big for where I'm activating, right? 8 more seconds. We're gonna lift our heels up and pull the toes inwards towards our buns on the floor, and then come in to serve the platter. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So heels are gonna lift all the way up. up, slide your toes back as close as they can get to the machine. Push your toes into the floor, squeeze your knees together. Elbows in front of your ribs, and then as slowly as you can, as you lift your arms up and forward, make sure you're pulling the ribs in towards your spine to counter that. Slow, steady, energize those inner thighs. Imagine you have like a band wrapped around your knees. There's no space between your legs. Perfect in the spine, Jessica. Super slow, super strong. So serve the platter. You're gonna feel the front of the shoulders, the deltoids. You're definitely gonna feel your biceps. Big action from your chest. Those muscles on the back side of the body that we warmed up earlier, you wanna fire them up now to help you stabilize the scapula, the shoulder blades. On your next one, while you're pretty fresh, let's lift up and forward into our hold. Again, we're just gonna hold it today. No smaller movements, no pulses. I want you to feel your arms lifting away from you. Feel the tops of your shoulders burning, feel the chest burning, feel your core burning, and then lift your heels higher. Zip up through those inner thighs. Pull the chin in towards your throat. You have 4 more seconds. Yup. 3. See if you can go up a little higher. 2. And you're back to full range. Just about 20 seconds of movement, I know. We're gonna stand up from here, shake out those legs a little bit. If you're on 2 yellows, you can definitely stay on 2. Remember, you can always adjust your springs if something doesn't feel right. It's sexy back coming up. So we'll be standing up still with the cables, but facing the other way. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So stand on up, shake it out a little bit. I like my feet about hips distance width apart. And then remember, the further back you step from your machine, the heavier it's gonna feel. First things first, don't squat, but hinge forward. Bend your knees a little bit, and notice how far I'm leaning forward. It's important. Lift your elbows up, make sure the shoulder head doesn't roll forward. Keep your elbows lifted, and then we're going for straight arms, straight elbows, extending back, beautiful, Jess, and then resisting. We wanna try to keep the range of motion fairly small. So on the next one, I'm gonna stop Jess a little bit faster. Arms go all the way straight, and then about right there is where you wanna stop, and then straighten it right back out. Yes, look at those shoulders. Same as we talked about before, right? When we were sitting up and serving our platter, and I kept talking about your front ribs pulling in. Same goes here, it just feels a little different because you're not sitting down. Slow, steady. We're gonna go for straight arms in 5. Go back to all the way straight in 3, 2. Hold it all the way straight. A different challenge here. I want you to think chest opener. With straight arms, give me a little lift up, yes. So triceps are still burning, little lift up, yes. Triceps are burning, little lifts up. Pull those front ribs in, yes. 3, now we're gonna keep the arms lifted and bend the elbows again. In 2, hold it up, go back to your sexy back. Last 8 seconds here. Good, so we're gonna be coming down onto our knees on the back platform for a tricep pull. You do want at least 2 yellows. You might even want 3 yellows. In 3, 2, and 1. So I'm gonna Jess another yellow spring. She's gonna bring her knees down onto the back platform, her hands in the little eyelets. Her booty drops back, so her arms are gonna extend. Lift your chest a little bit. Good. And then she's bending, pulling with the triceps. Exactly. I'm gonna say drop your hips back a little bit more. There you are. This way her spine is nice and neutral. Shoulders, hips in the same line. Untuck your tail a little bit. Stick your booty out. Yep, and then lift those shoulders a little higher. Oh, right there, perfect. Now, slow, steady. If you wanted to challenge this, you can alternate with 1 arm at a time. Maybe do 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Fairly tricky. And then remember, anytime you add in single arm things, it's gonna become anti-rotation. So if you're moving 1 arm, make sure you fire up those obliques. Nice, slow, steady movements. We're gonna hit a big challenge on this one. I want you to pull it all the way in on your next one, as tight as you can get it without changing what's happening in your neck, your jaw, or your upper spine. Squeeze your core. 1 inch out, and then pull in real tight. 1 inch in. 1 inch out, and then 1 inch in, real tight. 1 inch out, 1 inch in. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. 1 inch out. Yes. Chin towards the throat a little bit. Yes. 1 inch in. Squeeze those buttons. Fire it up. 5, 4. We got to go big, honestly, back to full range. In 3, 2. Go all the way out. Woo! All the way back in. 15 seconds of movement. We're going to open up these hips again. getting back into a short set of the legs, get the heart rate up. We'll also be working those biceps pretty good. It's fifth lunge, heading into that right leg. In 3, 2, and 1. So make sure you drop down to 1 yellow spring unless you mean it. Gonna pick up those red cables, carefully stand onto the back platform. Right foot will step forward. So she's done a bicep curl, right heel steps out to that first red line. I like a little lean forward, especially in this one, so that the pelvis, lower back are nice and neutral. Push down into the right heel, and then we'll start to rise up. About 20 seconds of movement. So as you're opening up through your arms, make sure the collarbones stay nice and open. So lats are working hard. That looks super good, Jessica. 10 more seconds. Big challenge is coming. The heart rate is gonna rise. The biceps are gonna feel the challenge. The legs are also gonna feel the challenge. On your next one, start to make your way down to your lowest spot. Hold it there for me. Set the knee right over the ankle. Pull in on your core. With your biceps and your back leg, moonwalker, as slowly as you can. So strong, Jess. I love her full stop at the back. Let's see if we can sink in a little lower. And then as slowly as she can, she's gonna slide forward. I want you to think of it 1 rep at a time. Slowly, yes, beast mode. Look at this control. Lift that back heel a little higher. Beautiful, Jess. We're halfway through the challenge. Sliding it out, sinking lower when we can. Opening up those shoulders when we can. Firing up lats. Adjust how you hold your ribs. Slowly pulling in. We're almost there. 3/4 of the way through the challenge. No big deal. Now, we're not even gonna go back to full range. I'm telling her this is her last 15 seconds. If she could get lower, she will. In 10 seconds, we're gonna immediately step off the back. I'm gonna say keep the springs where they are for a nice refreshing chest opener. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo, so good, Jess. So stepping off the back, now arms are gonna come down next to your hips. If you needed to make it a little bit heavier, just step back further, squeeze your legs together, zip up through your core, and as slowly as you can, a nice chest opener. A nice little reset after the bicep curl. Feel like your body is in plank right now. This might feel like a big old break after the last exercise, right? But it's not. It's a great place to reset, to re-engage the core, to feel that whole body connect back together, because you know what's happening right after this, right? We're coming right back into that 5th lunge on the left leg. You only have about 30 more seconds here. I'm not holding, I'm not challenging. I want you to feel that challenge yourself of that full range of motion. When you press back, that's the obvious work. When you come forward, the battle is here. When you're coming forward, you wanna stop your hands right in line with your hips and then drive it right back into it. So strong, Jessica. We are almost there. This is your last 14 seconds here. We're gonna step onto the back platform. You've got your cables, your springs should be good. This time, left foot up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So standing on up, little bicep curl to pull it in. Other leg steps forward. Right heel lifts high on that back platform. And then again, I like a little bit of a lean forward on this one, especially when we're standing on the moving thing. It's just gonna help you balance, keeping your body weight forward. About 20 seconds of movement, and then we'll hit that same challenge. Good news is we are coming down the mountain now. We'll be finishing on those center abs, no problem. 5 seconds, start to make your way down to your lowest spot. Remember, you can always hit that back off button if you need to. 3, 2, sink down nice and low. Set your lats, set the core, squeeze those inner thighs. Now with your biceps and your back leg, it's a bicep curl and a moonwalk. Slow. I like that big old pause at the back of the movement. Sliding forward. Keep your pubic bone curling forward. Your tailbone is heavy. If you can get lower, I want you to. Already halfway through the challenge. We're just rolling right through it this time. Big inhales, big old exhales. Perfect tempo, Jess. Setting the core, setting where you're looking, right? Where are you looking? Is the chin starting to move down? Mine usually does. Are your shoulders starting to round forward? Mine usually do. You have about 14 seconds. And remember, there's no back to full range. We're gonna step right down into our super crunch. I'm gonna say arms forward today. If you need to mod a little bit, just bring your hands right into prayer. This is 5. So good, Jess. 3, She's still smiling. 2 and 1. Solid. Take a seat on the back platform for super crunch. Toes will be underneath your strap. Ow, did you hit a toe? Dang it. Happens to the best of us. Watch your toenails. Bring your knees into your chest. Arms forward or hands could be in prayer. We're going to go first start, just big range of motion. I want you to find it. Leaning back, test it out. Keep the back of the head back with the spine. And then as you lift your heart up, try to stop your shoulders when they're still behind your hips. Exactly, Jessica. And then leaning all the way back. We're going to add in some arm movement now. As you lean back, I want your hands to come about the height of your shoulders. And then as you start to lift your chest up, I want you to start to bring your arms all the way up as the knees are bending. Exactly. Feel that challenge in the shoulders. Feel the challenge in the core. And then you're leaning back as the arms extend out in front of you. Your legs extend as well. Perfect. Nice and slow. Breathing, lifting. Arms are reaching energetically. Lats have to stay engaged. It starts to shake probably. And then really slow, leaning it back. Good news. 2 to go from here. Yay. Keep the neck nice and long as you lean back. Think about keeping your chin equidistant from your throat all the way through. So as you're leaning, the head is coming back with you. Beautiful. Good. Next one, I want you to pull about halfway in with your arms, with your torso, with your legs. And then think about coordinating them all. So strong. 1 inch up, arms, chest, and legs. 1 inch out, arms, chest, legs. 1 inch in, 12 seconds. Fight for it. Get it to shake. Hands on the carriage for high plank. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Grabbing that carriage, tuck your toes, high plank position. You've got 15 seconds of holding. The clock has already started, 10 to go. Big old inhales, legs could be hips distance or they could be together, that's all good. 5 seconds, we slowly pull through bear in 2. Really slow, begin to bend your knees. Feels a little bit like catfish, but way harder with your hands on the carriage. Perfect form, Jessica. We only have 20 seconds total here. She's already 10 seconds in. We're moving right on through. Now, in about 8 seconds, I'm gonna challenge her with some push-ups. Maybe she stays on her toes and keeps the range smaller, or maybe she just drops onto the knees in 4 from right here at the back. In 3, 2, 1. Good call. Slowly as you can. Push-ups, only 15 seconds. I want them as slow as they can be. I want them shaky. You only have 10 seconds. You could stay here at the back on your elbows for a low plank. If it were me, I'd probably travel straight up to the front. Low plank in 3, 2, 1. Either at the back or at the front. Elbows and toes. This is it right here. We're under 60 seconds. You've got 10 seconds of holding. Fire it up. Squeeze your legs together. Now, we're gonna start at the bottom of our challenge as slowly as she can, like wheelbarrow. She's gonna hinge backwards from her shoulders, full body saw, it's a big one. Then she's gonna pull forward, and as slowly as she can, pike up. Yes, she knew where I was going. She is reading my mind. Beautiful, Jess. We're gonna bring it all the way back to the plank. She's gonna hold the plank for a second, make sure she's got the alignment, and then slide backwards through the shoulders. It's a real burner. And then slowly as she can, she's gonna pike up. This is it, just 15 seconds till that child's pose. Pike to saw. If you need to leave out the saw, leave it out. If you need to make your plank, your pike rather real small, keep it real small. If you'd rather just hold your plank, you should. Last 5, here we are. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Child's pose. Spread your knees out a little bit. Let your rib cage kind of cradle down between your inner thighs. Let the arms reach forward, palms face down. Let your shoulders, your elbows be soft. And I like to have my forehead on the front platform, and you can just kind of gently rock your head from side to side, massaging into the neck. If you want a little bit more of a low back release, scoot your knees a little closer together, and then just bring your hands back by your hips with your palms facing up. Good job, everybody. See you next time. Good job, Jess.